We are back. The wormhole is back. We got Brother Miz in the house. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Cheebs. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Dallas Spring is treating me well. We just had the Masters tournament. Feeling good. We've got so much sports stuff going on. We got Johnny Football not knowing who he's living with. We got the draft coming up. We got baseball. But we're going to take some time to talk passion of yours and a passion of mine. And we're going to talk some golf because we just had a great tournament.
I love it. That it was. It was one to remember, one for the ages. That final round, and in particular, that back nine for the leaders on Sunday was just one of the most epic and heartbreaking things I think I've ever personally watched live.
I hear you, man. And I think there's some weird things going on. That was the 30th anniversary of Jack. So you had his major comeback, but it was also the 20th anniversary of Greg Norman. And so those ghosts were out there, man, and they came back. And yeah, I'm with you. I haven't seen something that bad since Greg Norman. And I kind of vividly remember that because I loved me some Shark. And I think Nick Faldo is such a pindick, but it is what it is. Once again, the American just collapsed. Let's talk about Spieth. So you're watching, it's Sunday. I mean, he just goes on that birdie tear, and you got to be like, I'm going to take a nap. Like, this thing is done. No one's making a charge. And then what's your gut feel? Are you like, come on, man, bogey something. Let's make this thing close. What are you pulling for at that moment?
It's funny. I was talking to the wife about it a little bit, and I wasn't really rooting for a particular player this time around.
Not the Panther?
I was just kind of, what's that?
Not the Panther?
So I would have loved it. No, mainly for gambling purposes. I left him off my team. It cost me a second place and about $1,000. So I'm a little bitter there. But I was really rooting for, man, like just a competitive back nine. I distinctly remember saying after Spieth, got off a 9 before he was heading to the back nine, they went on commercial break, and I was like, this thing's over. He might win by 7 strokes. And sure enough, I couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Like, it just had that vibe because nobody was making a charge. You had like Day, Matsuyama, all these guys. You knew Longer was going to fall off, but nobody took control. Like, Day was playing scared. Rory's just playing. I don't even know what game that guy is playing right now. And no one's really making a charge. So we come up to 12. First of all, I mean, like, the overlook point is he bogeyed the next 2 or the previous 2 holes. Like, that was a big deal. And you're like, man, it's coming back.
He was making a mess out there, and they weren't bad holes, 10 and 11. You can make a bogey here and there. He still has a sizable lead at that point. What is it, 3 strokes? And you just had the feeling, though, that he needed something drastic. He needed to, like, make a birdie on 12, I think is what he probably did. Took too dead of an aim. You got to flare that ball out left and instead of dumping one right. But I think he felt the pressure of letting 2 shots slip, and that might have played into, a more aggressive line than it needed to be.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think so. You do that. You put the ball in the water on 12. What do you do? Do you go drop area? Do you go where he does, or you just tee it back up?
So you're not teeing it back up. That's not an easy shot, even though it's 150 some yards. I can't fault him if he dropped to a number that he feels super, super comfortable with. But to me, I would probably go to the drop zone. I would, swallow my pride and unfortunately walk off with a 5, maybe get lucky with a long bogey.
Yeah, I mean, that's the overlooked thing is he made a great save for a 7. Like, when he put it in the bunker, I was like, this dude's going to quintuple bogey this hole. He's going to put up an 8.
No, he did. He made that. I mean, that was a pretty sizable comeback putt. And it's just bizarre to me that he could putt that well. Like, the whole round in its entirety, he putted really well, but he literally could not strike the ball off the tee. anything off the 3-wood, besides the 3-wood, the driver, the irons, it was sloppy. He struck the ball really poorly and still could have ran away with the Masters.
Yeah, and I thought he was gonna. He didn't. And so that kind of begs the question, Jordan Spieth collapse or Danny Willett win? I always ask myself these questions in like any of these major kind of like surprise collapses, upsets, whatever you want to call them. I mean, like, did the guy win it or did the guy that was supposed to win it just shit the bed?
I think it's the latter. I think in this case, the favorite, the guy that should have won, just freaked out on a couple holes on the back nine and he shit the bed. I think it's a loss on his part. I think Willett did what he had to do to put himself in contention.
Yeah,
but even after the round, he thought he was a shot low. He didn't think he was there.
Yeah, he went out and shot a 67. Good on him for doing that in the last day. I think that was, but I'm with you. I always think that, something like this, a commanding lead, looking like you're going to run away with it by like 8 strokes or something like that, and then you just come back through 6 holes just looking that shell-shocked. I mean, I was amazed he kind of gave himself birdie tries because that dude just looked out of it. He looked like he just saw a ghost.
He really rebounded nicely, right? I mean, he plays 13, makes a birdie. It would have been, could you imagine if he rolled home the eagle, to just thrust himself right back in, and it wasn't far.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been fantastic. If he would have won it, it might have gone down as one of the better wins in Masters history, judging by what he did to himself. Like, to right that ship, and you and I golf, like, if I do that, I'm not writing ships. I'm getting drunk at that point in time. Like, if I, like, because that, a 7 for Jordan Spieth's like a 12 for me. And that's just going to go, I'm done. I'm going off the rails.
Yeah, that's like, borderline club throw, beat up the cart. Do something just real hood rat on the golf course.
You're gonna bust the bottle out, start drinking the Faderade, and go from there. Let's see, back to Spieth. So this is a little one. What's worse, Jordan's 12th or Rory's infamous into the cabin on 10 for the 7?
Man, Rory's shot was just a C hook beyond belief, man. I don't know how to really put that.
That was awful. And everyone was Augusta was like, oh no, them the slave quarters. We can't show that. How do you end up over there?
So for an individual shot, that's got to be one of the funniest and worst that I've seen. But I still, and I'm probably biased by being so fresh and still pretty present. Spieth's 12th hole was just unacceptable. I mean, he didn't just duff his shot, his third, it barely got to the water. I mean, he was. Yeah. He was, I mean, he was 30 yards off. I mean, that was a flub beyond belief. Like, you do not see pros, semi-pros, good amateurs at any level miss that badly.
No, you do not, and especially like top 10 golfers in the world. That just doesn't happen. And that was a straight up chunk. Everybody watching at home that ever has played golf goes, I do that. And we're not good. At least his good. So that was me. That was pretty wild, man. I couldn't believe it. I wanted him to bogey a couple holes because I wanted it to come back. I wanted to see DJ make a run. The guy just couldn't putt. That was a bummer. And I wanted to see like some action because I was like, this is so boring. No one's making a charge. And then Jordan, it was almost too bad. Then I felt sorry for him. Like, it was awful. And then watching the mat, did you watch the presentation? The jacket?
A little bit, man. Talk about, kicking a guy in the dick when he's down. I mean, that was brutal.
Dude, Nance did him a favor by not asking questions because he was sulking in there. He looked like Bubba. It was like he just like took that Bubba dickhead look and just put it right on his face. But I was amazed that he had to go through all that. And just like the guy's like, I can't believe this stupid little Englishman I'm going to have to put this coat on him. Like, I got I just didn't do it. It was nuts. I couldn't believe it. But
Yeah.
what major surprises? What do you got? Anything?
Yeah, I think two of my surprises were how poorly a couple guys played, and that I thought would do a little bit better. Adam Scott was disappointing. Just didn't put together any good rounds. Just played a couple over par each round, and then Phil and his bitch tits just really let me down by missing the cut on what turned out to be, you just had to score somewhere around par and you were in the hunt, because Saturday early morning was better conditions. People made a charge. You just kind of had to make the cut and string something decent together on Saturday, and you were in the thick of it. And Phil just choked it, man.
Yeah, and he normally plays well there. I mean, my biggest surprise, one of them too, was watching these guys. Like, I think they're so mentally taxed, tee to green, that when they got on the green, those greens are so hard, and they just didn't even know it. Like, how many guys just yacked 3-footers for like triples and shit? Like Ricky on Thursday, his back nine, that was ridiculous. He was my like biggest disappointment. I thought Ricky was going to do something. He screwed me in major wager, and it just sucked. But these guys just were yakking putts. The course was playing really hard. I get that. The wind sucks, but it's like, man, I don't know. I just stay in it, I guess. It was a tough. It was cool because it was the first time I can remember in a while where the Masters like looked hard.
Oh, it looked hard. I bet you that would be backed up by the Big Easy. Ernie Els 6 yak in the green.
Yeah, how about the little like walk up frustrated one-handed missed putt? Just so pissed. He might as well have like put it between his legs or done like the pool cue. I think if I was like putting my 5th ball, I think I would have just gone and gotten a wedge and just wedge putted from there on out. Just been like, this isn't working.
I can't really explain what he did. I mean, he should have just entertained using a foot wedge, kicking it in, which I can say my buddy Scott Pod's Neckers at the Golf Expo walked up and to win some gear from Foot Golf, kicked a ball into the hole, nothing but net, and walked away with free swag. He slayed the Denver Golf Expo free stuff, and man, you'll see him out in Mesquite. He's still learning golf, and man, his Expo game is just dialed, to take the words out of your mouth.
On point, man. That's on point. I mean, at that point, when you're on your 7th putt, you might as well just foot wedge it or pick up and walk off. You're like, I'm not making the cut. The crazy thing is he kind of made a run and almost made the cut. Like, he didn't miss the cut by that much.
Dude, he played like one over the rest of the round, proved me wrong. I was chatting with Jason, and I just told him, now's about time that you fake an injury, your back seized up, and you kind of take the WD and just get off the course after posting the 9.
Right. I mean, like, my tournament's done. See you later. Biggest disappointments. I mean, you kind of harked on it. Phil just not getting it done. Richard not getting it done, and Adam Scott, man. Those were the 3 names that like I liked, and I had them all, and it didn't work out. How'd you end up in major wager? You did all right.
Yeah, man, not great. Dude, I spit the bit, man. I talked myself into really wanting Mickelson on the squad for a lot of the dumb fucking reasons that you mentioned earlier. Reunion of Jack's comeback, winning at 45, 46 years old. Phil was in, good form. He's not in good shape, but he was in good golf form. And last minute, I added him and yanked my boy, my favorite golfer, the Panther, Dustin Coke Johnson, and man, it cost me $1,000. No joke. I would have finished second if it was him over Phil, like I had until the 23rd hour.
I can't believe it. He's your dude. He's who you roll with. And I mean, he's a good bet in these things too. And I kind of was kicking myself for not like taking him seriously. I mean, he's in all of these. He'll never win because I don't think he cares enough to win. That sounds like awful, but he had so many like 15-foot eagle putts or like birdie putts that he just couldn't roll home. And you're like, dude, if you can like get really good at those, he would have ran away with that thing.
I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. I like him for the rest of the tournaments, the rest of the majors. He's gonna kind of lark around like you'd expect out of a big, nose candy panther.
Right.
But I think, man, so over the last couple of years, I know it gets a little geeky, but I kind of like him a ton. His like chipping and scrambling has gotten better, but he has to improve like his strokes gained putting, some of those one putt stats, because it's ridiculous how close he is on long par fours, how almost every par five he's home in two.
Yeah, he's so long. You just got to get the flat stick working. He's the next guy to win, right? He's the next guy like Jason Day to go out there and just go on some kind of crazy tear. Now, granted, he also could not give a shit and just wanted to blow riding private jets and bang Wayne Gretzky's daughter, but teach his own. He's got a pretty good life, I guess. Any other Masters things?
Man, I thought Hideki Matsuyama continues to just, kind of dink around the top 10, top 15 in majors. I don't know that he's going to win, but he's close. I mean, it was a tie for seventh. Again, he's just one of those sort of, sneaky, ironic, just a sneaky sort of Asian dude kind of, pestering around with the elites of the world that should compete, in most of these big tourneys.
He's good. I love that he rocks the like rolled up sweater sleeves too.
Yeah.
That's just classic. He's good. I mean, all those like Willett too on the European tour, those guys are good. You just never see them. Let's see what else in the Masters. It was a good tournament. I love this one. This is my favorite major. Kind of kicks off. It gets you in golf gear. It's like the spring, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go play a lot of golf now. Just a good one. I watched a lot of like the preview stuff, like the practice rounds and that stupid putt drive chip thing. Like I watched that. That was whatever. But no, man, it's a good one. I like it. You got some questions. You came up with some doozy questions, golf related, quasi abyss related. Let's hear them.
Yeah, so man, we would be missing out in not giving the ugly bastard his due credit. Not mentioning Danny Willett, man, he strung together a pretty fantastic tournament. Good win, winning by 3 strokes in a major is pretty freaking impressive. But it got me thinking, having to look at that bastard at the end and his tatted up arms and his sort of gap teeth. He looks like every English Premier League soccer thug, anybody from Green Street Hooligans, and got me thinking, if you had to pick professional golfers to roll in the Cheap Street Gang, who you rolling with?
How many do I get?
Take 2. I'll take 2, and then we'll round out a final pick each.
All right, I like that. So my first one, I'm going with Rory. He is, for one, sorry, he's jacked, man. So Rory was wearing like those tight Nike things. That guy is cut up. Plus he's Irish, and he's a loose cannon now that he doesn't have Wozniacki after a year. I mean, he's my token crazy dude that's gonna like grab bar stools. He's gonna grab pool cues. He's gonna take a wedge out of the leg of his pants, and he's gonna cause some problems. And he's gonna be blackout drunk the entire time and not know it happened. So that's my kind of Danny Willett guy for you, Rory. You want to go one for one? Because I feel like we're gonna have a couple overlaps. You can go next.
I will, man. You nailed the Rory pick. He's clearly who you want. His shirts, so I just gotta say this. They're like that multicolored material, and it's dark, and it just frames his C cups, man. It's like Rory tits all over the broadcast, but he's just jacked. It's bananas.
It's plus whenever he takes his hat off, he just looks like a drunk maniac anyways. Like he's got the weirdest hair.
That's true. All right, so I'll make my first pick. I'm gonna let you know that my gang is probably gonna have a higher average age than yours.
You're going with old man strength.
Oh yeah, and I can't think of a better person than Miguel Angel Cabrera to just come along and enforce, smoke cigars, intimidate, and know that he's got my back with him when I need him.
Dude, Jimenez would be like, he'd also like line them up like that old boxing look where you put like one fist out in front of the other and do the like, I'm doing it on camera, but you can't see it on the radio, where you like kind of line them up like those old timey black and whites. That is what Jimenez would do. He'd just get in that stance and he'd be like, yep, put up your dukes. I like that. Plus, he's got that crazy ponytail thing. Probably,
yeah, true. I think I said Cabrera, but it is Jimenez that I've been thinking of.
He'd also bring like a strong crew. You know that Jimenez is rolling with like 15 blonde 20-year-olds.
He's probably also not afraid to do all of the dirty work.
He'll hide the bodies. That's for damn sure. That'd be the one scary thing. If you're rolling with Jimenez, you might find yourself like by a river with some burlap sacks, being like, we got to get rid of some shit. My next pick, and I mean, I'm going to go with coked up Dustin. Not just bang Dustin, not just bang Pauline and Dustin. He's too chill. It's got to be coked up Dustin, just running on all cylinders, man. That guy's big, he's tall, and he's probably a crazy man.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. All right, so my number two, and only because of his impressive Masters showing is he even on my radar. But for all of the reasons you take Rory, I want Grandpa Lee Westwood on my side too.
He's a big dude too. He's got that like gray beard. Man, you are rolling with some old man strength.
Oh yeah, dude. Part of our game is just pure intimidation and savviness. You know, we're gonna trick DJ when he's just kind of head spinning around looking for the next hit. I mean, we're gonna do circles around him and each take a little crack at those gangly legs.
There's a pretty good chance that my street game would just start fighting each other. Finally, my last pick, I'm going to go Southern Strong and Boo Weekly. He's a big boy, and you know he just throws haymakers.
That's probably true. That Boo. At least he'll be camouflaged. Maybe have the element of surprise, like a Viet Conger, a little bit longer.
That's right. I like that.
All right, so I'll round mine out. I am gonna need a little bit of youth, just to make sure we're kind of in every fight. And I'm gonna go with Patrick Reed. I want somebody that's gonna drink, that's gonna get a little boozy, that's really just gonna kind of lose inhibitions, be the madman in the group, and I think that's Patrick.
I mean, I'd like to agree with you, but Patrick's just gonna be like frat boy hit and run. That's my only thing on him. He might just like talk a bunch of shit, throw a punch when the guy's not looking, and then run away. But you got some straight up brawlers coming in behind you with Mr. Westwood. So maybe that's what you need, is you need the instigator.
I need the hype man. I think the critique's real. It would have been an easy swap to just go with that crazy man Ian Poulter. He kind of fits the bill, and he's just going to mix it up.
Yeah, dude. And he'll look good doing it. No, that's a good gang. I like that. I mean, guys that you definitely wouldn't take in your street gang, if I can list a couple, I think Trevor Immelman, I would never take in my street gang. Brant Snedeker. Sorry, Brant. Not taking you. And probably not even Louis Oosthuizen, even though he might be a scrappy little guy.
No, I could see that. I'm probably ducking guys like Jim Furyk, Justin Rose. That little pin dick has no chance of helping me out. And then, I mean, Matt Kuchar, about the only thing he's good for is balding in some pretty funny Skechers commercials, but I don't want him on my side.
He's in Skechers commercials?
Oh yeah, but they're Man, they're kind of reasonable. Like I don't know. You'd have to like look at him, but he'll be like, "Here's how to chip," and like doesn't give you any advice, but just chips, and he's like, it goes in, and you tip your hat, or some little like cheesy thing. But yeah, yep. Uncle
No
Matt's rocking
golfer
sketch.
needs to be sponsored by Starter. Like we need like a Tony Romo-esque guy on the golf tour.
Dude, Starter doesn't have enough money to sponsor a golfer. Are you kidding me?
That's true. You had another question. I liked it. Hit me with it.
What would you name a golf course if you were designing it, building it? It can factor into, how you would design it or anything like that. What's your creative naming?
Man, so I didn't have a lot of time to think about this, but I want something intimidating for one. I want it like I want to be like I'm going to go play said course and you just have this like fear of God put into you. So I went with the Kraken.
Holy shit.
And I think like the design would just be a shit ton of water everywhere, like island greens, like just really daunting tee shots with like every tee shot would have like 200-yard carry over water or 180-yard carry over water. And I'd probably have a sea monster like that Geico commercial.
Oh Jesus.
Or just gators rolling around everywhere. Kind of like the TPC, but way more of them. So I just think like you'd be badass. You're like, where are you playing? I'm playing the Kraken.
It's intimidating.
Right? What do you got?
Man, I'd probably have to make it a little, Lynx style in some degree, but I think hands down I would call it Larking Bluffs.
I like that. Sounds kind of classy. Like it's
modeled after like Whistling Straits, something similar there, but I could just see the US Open at Larking Bluffs really drawing a crowd.
And Larking Bluffs definitely would be really nice in the front nine, and then just get shadier and shadier as you progress on the back nine. I mean, the 18th hole at Larking Bluffs is just like kind of in an alley. It's a really tight, narrow, like wooded area. Tents hanging around. I don't know.
Really don't care what the score is. You just want to finish in about 10 minutes.
Exactly. Twilight, you don't play the 18th during the Twilight round. You just get out of
Correct.
More and more people start showing up at Twilight too. Like every hole becomes more populated. Like where are these people coming from? They were just larking around all day. That's a good one. That's why you asked that question. You had that name in mind, I feel like.
Oh, absolutely. I think I could name golf courses all day. I mean,
I like it. All right, I got 5 questions for you. Lightning round. Okay. All right. The first question: has Jim Nantz had sex in the Butler cabin?
Yes, but maybe not with the female species.
Agree. What Masters champ has not gone top heavy with the green jacket? Zach Johnson, Trevor Immelman, or Mark O'Meara?
Immelman?
Maybe. I don't know. Those seem to be like the 3 lamest champions I can think of, and I bet they just keep their green jacket like in a trunk. Whereas like Tiger's wearing that to Perkins and being like, meet me in the bathroom. You can wear my other one. Who wins in a fight between Bubba or Phil?
Oh, jeez. Man, it's probably Phil. I think he can toss around the weight. I really do. He's fighting for his life, like he's being investigated for stock fraud or something like that. So I just think his motivation is really there. Bubba seems a little soft. He cries a lot.
I don't think Bubba would like throw a punch. I think he'd like slap. He looks like a guy that would just slap. A little more realistic. What does Jordan Spieth do to get over this?
Look at his bank account. I don't know, man. There's nothing golf wise. I think on a serious note, I think the only reason that it's not going to like implode on him, linger like some of the other guys, is he's just too fucking young. He will be able to brush this off, and he is so damn good. I don't know that what happened is going to it'll sink in because he's got a good sense of history, but I don't think it's going to like paralyze him because he's just too young to let it linger.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right, final question. It's November. Yeah, November. America has just voted. You hold the vote to decide who's going to be the president. If you vote for Donald Trump, you don't ever get to play Augusta in your life. If you vote for Donald Trump, you get to go play Augusta once. Do you vote for Donald Trump?
No, dude, that guy is batshit crazy beyond belief. It pains me to say it. I'll just tour around to all the other courses. I mean, Augusta. Well, I was gonna say they might not, let me in, but then I think about all the racial quips that I've had, and I'm like their exact target audience, so they probably should recruit me. But I think I'm gonna
target audience just like 30 million light in the bank account.
Easily. So I think nope. I think I'm gonna pass and live without ever experiencing the most racially charged golf tournament that seems to be the most prestigious for some odd reason. I'm gonna pass on that course.
That is such a funny thing. That was my lightning round. You answered them very well, by the way. That is amazing thing about Augusta. It is an old white man's club, and people love it. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. They got to be loving that Tiger's not even playing. Was there a black dude in the field this week?
I don't know. Did the alleged dog eater Vijay Singh suit up?
Oh, yeah, he did. He did play because he's a winner.
Yeah, he is. He'll be there, I don't know, till he croaks.
Yeah, you can play forever. So, yeah, man, that's good, man. I don't have anything else. We did good on time this time around. I think going into the Open, we'll have a little bit more talk. How's the game right now? Just to end things. You feeling good?
Haven't played much. I was down visiting my sister in Phoenix. Got a young nephew, didn't get to play, but we did go to Top Golf, and it was fun to swing and kind of hit the ball. But yeah, haven't gotten into the full swing yet. Had a couple rounds under the belt. One good, one mediocre, one subpar, or not subpar, but not good.
Right on. Quick Jobu update. Give me last week's results. Anything exciting?
Yeah, last week we did mercy the team. It wasn't so. We started pretty slowly. We struggled. I drew the number 2 card, got to hit second, and took a solo shot out on fucking accident and ruined the first game's home run swing in the top of the first inning.
4 pitches into the season.
And so there was wind, kind of pushing it out, not to make an excuse, but in hindsight, screw you guys. I don't care. I got 1 home run and nobody else has one on the books.
So did you walk off pissed, or did you celebrate a little?
No, I was kind of upset. Really, it wasn't part of the plan. It shouldn't have gone. It's kind of a dick move. But I did put the shug on. And in response to it, we needed somebody to rock the shug. So I manned up. I showed off my beautiful man belly until
Oh.
Mr. Lindbergh struck out and had to inherit the Shug.
We got 1K. That's the earliest one. Looking or swinging?
Looking.
Oh, no. Not good. Any other antics? Any other antics?
Nothing terrible. Little Danny Dwiggins, Big Ed, maybe didn't get a ball out of the infield. Kind of scuffed a couple bunt slaps right back to the pitcher. But man, that's just singling a couple dudes out for the hell of it. But all in all, like, our offense was slow. It took a little while to get going, but Rumi drew the opening day start, took it start to finish, pitched pretty well, and we ended up mercying him in maybe the 6th.
Nice. I like it. I miss it. I was pissed off last weekend. I was like, oh, man, Wednesday night, softball time. But it is what it is. Glad you guys did it. Glad that we've got a strikeout under the belt already. It's nothing more demoralizing than striking out in slow pitch softball.
It's brutal. I have one. It happened last year. I can't explain it. I'm still kind of embarrassed. I just blame it on the afternoon Rockies game with Jay Drew and my company and not being how do we say, athletic or sober?
Right frame of mind. Oh man, that's too good. That's too good. I love it. I think we'll get more. We'll have to get Rumi back on this. He's been dodging us, dipping into the costume box last night, I think. So let's take it out with some Smoke Dog, man. Have a good night, Mr. Mislone.
You too, buddy.
Give it to me, Smokey.